Good morning. Happy Monday to those living in the United States who are kind of going through this nasty storm. Hope everybody's safe. Okay, let's see if we can figure out. Trying to figure out why this thing does not want to close. Hey, Peter. Good morning. How are you? Or good evening, I should say. How are you? Hey, Joe. How's the weather your way, Joe? Nick, good morning. Hope you all made it through the worst of the weather. There, it's laying on the ground all over. Yeah, it's cold with no real ice or snow. Good. All right, I'm still trying to figure out where where we are not. Jonick, 25 right now. Oh my. Yippee-ki-yay. Yeah, I think it's probably around 10 degrees Fahrenheit out here. Just means bundle up because the kids will want to go out and play still. Yeah. But they're going to want to play in that, but there's nothing to play in? Like there's no snow? Interesting. Sorry about that. Just got some coffee going. Like most kids these days, while they're playing outside, they don't get tables handed to Towels handed to them. Leave us alone. Nice. Wise, Nick. Very wise. Yeah, very wise. Okay. So I went out yesterday at one point and did do some snow removal. I did just like early on, probably like around 3-4 o'clock. It started snowing right around 10 or so. Interesting. I feel like the more I remove, the less this thing wants to come together. Wild. So went out and just kind of got rid of as much of that as possible. And then it was like, it was still coming down. And then I was thinking about, okay, I'll go out like between 7 and 8 and do some more. And it was like, yeah, no. It was blowing. It was pretty nasty. We got massive drifts outside. So just holding off until it clears up a little bit more. Ripping around the four-wheeler yesterday while it was 30 out. That's awesome, man. Yeah, as long as the kids are bundled, great. Get them outside. Totally agree. I'm waiting for the weather. This year, the weather has not been very cooperative, which really bums me out. I mean, that, and also I've been going up to Maine whenever I have whenever I have a free weekend. When my wife's not down here, I try to go up to Maine. So I've not been able to get outside. And by getting outside, I mean, it's like I want to hit a trail. I love hitting trails in the winter. For a guy who hates cold, I actually do like doing trail walks in the winter. There we go. I think I don't remember the last time I did a trail walk. Must have been in November at this point. But getting people outside, I think, is absolutely important. Good for you, Nick. Good for you. Oh man. You know what? Take this thing off. There we go. Anyway, I'm working from home today. Not sure how much work I'll get done, but I'm going to work from home. Debating taking like a half day or something like that. Just really, I got stuff to do and I can get it done pretty quickly, but I don't want to be pretending to work either. Trails have a different vibe when they are all covered in snow. You feel much more alone and out in nature. Yeah. There's one of my favorite trails, Nick, is very close to us. And what I love about that trail is I've walked in 24. I walked it every month, at least once a month, every month. And what I loved about it was just seeing its changes from, basically from winter to spring to summer, fall, and then back to winter, early winter at that point. And every step, it was great to see, you know. So I'm working from home today. Yeah, are you? Sent out the gift for myself today. Nice. What is this the stuff you're sending back to Denmark? Mental recharge. Yeah. It's been things at work are theoretically morphing in a good direction. That just means I'm off. I can't work from home. Nice. So no likelihood of you just getting an emergency call and being told, get your ass out in the field. Yep. Nice. And is this the 12 package maximum that you were saying you can send without getting hit with I guess VAT or something? Good evening, Edwin. How are you, my friend? Okay. And not if you keep that bad juju. Didn't say a thing. Didn't say a thing. All right, I'm going to mute you guys for a bit. I'm going to mute myself for a bit. Not you guys, but myself. Going to grind away a little bit at this. What I'm trying to do is reshape some of this right here in order to get the top to fit correctly. I don't know. For some reason, it's now not fitting. Yes, I understand. I think the reason why. Now I got to get it to fit. Yes, I have to pay VAT on everything because Danes are taxed at every corner, but I don't have to pay imports. Nice. Yep, fair enough. I don't understand the full, again, because it's not something we have here. But at the same time, given all your taxes, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say, it seems like you might be paying a lot in taxes, but you get a lot of benefit for it. Just saying. Good day. Today, most of the work are done, but a 3D print parts of airsoft. Still working on how to print it good. And doing my other new hobby, stacking Warhammer model boxes. Stacking them? Sounds like something I would do. I love it, Edwin. All right, mute time. Okay, back. It's not that many kids. Why not just fly back with them? I would not want to be without what I get for my taxes. Yeah, absolutely. I look at this is the thing I've never understood in America in particular. Americans are like so anti-tax. Don't take my money from me. It's like you know that money goes into paying for certain things that I like and things that I don't, but generally they go for that. I think some of the things that we pay for are rather skewed poorly, but that's the benefit of taxes. You have to pay in order to be part of to pay for the things that you could not afford to pay individually. Hello. It's like rocket science when you're trying to deal with that. I'm not saying, look, I don't like paying too many taxes, but taxes ain't bad. Anyway, don't mean to go on a tear on this. Just never understood. Like, I look at, and I'm not saying that everything is perfect. I look at where I live, and our property taxes pay for a lot of good stuff. Our school systems are great. I know that's not always the case. You know, a lot of good shit. Well, we're anti-tax because we get taxed for everything, even the ones we own outright. Like what? Like, what do you own that you own outright that you shouldn't pay taxes for? Property. All right. So, Nick, how are your kids going to afford school? How are your fire department going to get paid? Your police department? I mean, I guess what we could do instead is at the end of the year, everybody could just get a bill. These are the services. Oh, you had to call the fire department out to your house once, $44,000. Or, oh, you didn't pay your tech. Yeah, I can't send the fire department out to you. It can become a transactional thing. Property taxes pay for you to be part of a community. In the same way that if you own a condo, this is the funny thing. People who own condos pay condo fees. Those fees are for things that happen within your immediate area. That's the reason why you have taxes. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying that they can't be tweaked or whatever. But yeah, this is what I'm getting at. It's like I look at the property taxes that I have here and look at what my town is doing, and between the schools and other things, we got a lot of good stuff coming out of here. I claim Americans also pay for other people life-saving operations. Only difference is Danes pays via taxes. Americans pay via GoFundMe. Fair enough. In this time and age, we need easier transparency. Oh, absolutely. Well, again, this is not just so we're on the same page, Joe. I'm not making this a political conversation based on the current administration. That's not my point. This is an age-old conversation about people saying we pay for taxes that we shouldn't have to pay. You could not pay for a lot of the stuff otherwise. That's the thing that I don't understand. And in fact, I would actually say tax us more, and therefore I don't have to be paying the fucking amount of money I'm paying for health insurance. Tax breakdown is cities, school, and property. I don't mind the school or city tax. I care about the property part. Why do you care about it? Where does that money go? Nick, how is that money broken down? So you pay property tax. Where does that money go to? Does it go to the public works department? Does it go to cleaning up the street? Does it go to your garbage removal? Does it go to laying down new pipe or new infrastructure? If the answer to that is yes, how else do you pay for it? Cable company comes to your house and says, hey, because there is no tax on having lines run, Public Works, the city. Okay, so where do you what does your property tax pay for? Has to go into the coffers somewhere. And if it does, what does it pay out? Unless you have, it's like you're saying right now, I don't mind the school and the city tax. Is there a tax specific for going to school? Is there a tax specific for being in the city? Is there a tax specific for being on the property? See, we don't have that. I live in this town. I pay whatever it is. I think it's $6,000 to $7,000 annually for taxes. And I see that, and that's local taxes. Being a resident of Holden. Okay. Again, how's your police department get paid? City tax. Okay, so what's property tax going to? Again, maybe that's the whole thing. What is it going to? Not even current people don't understand how cities manage ones. That's what we need to see. City coffers, especially Detroit, as we as citizens watch it. Yeah, like I said, look, I'm not arguing that. I think Joe's point is the valid one. It's the lack of transparency has a tendency to be the problem. Oh, am I paying for somebody to go to have like 3 martini lunches? No, I don't think I want to pay for that. But do I want to pay for having, my local police? Do I want to pay for the infrastructure that gets done here? Because one of the examples I was going to use is I don't want the cable company to come up to me and say, because your town doesn't tax locally, because you don't pay for taxes to have infrastructure run, we need to get a wire to your house for you to have internet. Okay, that's a bill for $13,000. Yeah, my property tax bill is broken down into things where the property portion goes. I couldn't tell you. Politicians' pockets. Well, again, that is certainly it could be a concern, but I also think that is the common myth. Where is it going? That's a good question. Nick, this is part of what I keep saying to everybody. People get pissed off, and please, Nick, I understand. I'm not angry with you or anything like that, but I hear this argument a lot. If you do not know where things are going, you have a right to know. And the thing is, that information is probably fairly readily available. If it's obfuscated, then you can have a conversation with your local rep. Well, our taxes cover snow plows and snow removal on a morning like this. Mornington's exactly. Yeah. Imagine that. I've got to get to work. I've got to take care of my own driveway. Ken, good morning. Great point. Oh, but the street hasn't been plowed. Well, that means you and you're going to have to pay for having part of your street plowed. That's $800. I don't have $800 to have my street plowed. Well, the guess that you're going to have to figure out your own way of getting out. Yeah. That's the thing about this. Maybe it's because of how I'm not the most participating person in our community by any stretch of the imagination. But I've been to town meetings. I've gone to I use a lot of the services. And I remember, like, for example, like I take all my leaves and I bring them to a place in our town that composts it all. I like the bottle tax, my own loophole to riches. Nice. And there are 3-4 guys there on a Saturday. Yeah, maybe that's an excessive thing. But they're taking all that stuff, they're composting, and they're using that compost for city purposes. I'm now paying for some of that additional service. I'm taking my leaves. Yes, I'm driving them down, but they're using that to save money by using it as compost for the city. I think that's great. My taxes are paying for that. That to me is a use of taxes. Yesterday, in the short bit that I was out doing snow plowing around, like I said, around 3, I think it was. I'm sorry, snow removal. I saw DPW truck come by twice. So I will say an interesting thought experiment, Nick, would be what if we had the ability to have a checkbox? I'd like to pay for this, this, and this. I don't think that's a good idea long term because there are things that most people would say I don't want to pay for, but probably are necessities. I know where the rest goes and what it covers, but being taxed on something that is paid for seems criminal. That's like getting a tax bill for, let's say, your clothes and that bill increasing. Yeah. So, Nick, I'm going to use another example. And we remember, this is an interesting one. There was a time where I could go out. Oh, do I have one here? Prime example. I was looking to see if I had a disc here, but I guess I don't. Okay, Nick, I'm going to use an example. Years ago, you wanted to own a book. You went out and bought a book. You have access to that book. You read it once, you're done with it. You want to read it in 10 years, you can pick it up and read it again. That model was what we're moving against. You want to watch a movie, you have Netflix, you're paying a monthly fee. If you want to watch that movie again, you pay them a monthly fee. But I've already watched it once. Why do I have to pay for it again? Because you have to pay for it again. You know, that's the same kind of like thinking about this. It's like your property taxes are not just I bought the house, I paid tax once, and that's the end of it. It's like, how do you continue to live there for 20, 30 years and then continue to pay for a service? That service would die. So, yep, you paid once and that's the end of it. Those services, generally, that one and done type of service doesn't work. That model doesn't work anymore. At least, I want to make sure I say this correctly. I do think I'm not a big fan of not owning a book. I'm not owning a disc. I still buy CDs. I still, buy movies on disc and everything like that, because then I can watch as many times as I want. I don't have to pay a service for it. But at the same time, if I did that once, that movie would never be available again. And these companies are trying to find ways of making recurring revenue. And in many ways, taxes are like a recurring revenue thing in order for you to get a service. That's the thing. It is a quid pro quo thing. It needs to happen. It's community tax deduction for help out. We need incentive programs for citizens. I totally agree. I prefer small batch organically sourced compost. Where is Ray when you need him? Oh, I'm sure he's hiding in the fjord somewhere. It'd be a horrible social experiment. I know you can't ask people what they want to pay for because the answer is nothing. That's my point, Nick. Or everybody might just say at the same time, the social experiment might be everybody wants to pay for schools and nobody wants to pay for you going out for your 3 martini lunches. Well, no, I didn't buy Netflix. I bought the book. Yeah, but Nick, that's not the way things are going. We are moving into a model that is replicating taxes in some ways, because if you want the service to continue, you want to have access to new content, they've got to make it somehow, and you are front loading it through taxes. That's what taxes do. Taxes in some ways front load the bill. Instead of we built the school, now here's everybody who uses that school, here's your bill. Jesus, that's a big bill. Instead, you're front loading it through taxes. Every quarter, whatever, you're paying your taxes. That's how things go. I like the model. Now, I'm not saying it's a perfect model, and I think it can get tweaked, but it's a good model. Again, you have to subscribe to whatever now has a license for said movie. Yeah, I'm paying city, state, and school taxes. Property tax should not exist on owned property. Is all I'm saying. And Nick, Perfect. When we can end it here, what does that tax pay for? Find out. And here's the other thing: you're a citizen. You have a right. This is incumbent on you to find out, why am I paying this? Now, no, it's theoretically it should be something that the city comes out with and just says, this is what you're paying for with this. But you can find that information, and you should. And actually, Nick, if you don't mind, I'd love to know too, because you're right. If it's just like it's going into some general coffer that can be used by politicians in whatever general way they feel, yes, maybe no, depending on. I think a lot of it really depends on how unscrupulous or scrupulous the politicians are. No offense down your way, I'd be nervous as fuck. Even cars are moving to subscription and live service for features. Exactly. Oh yeah. Oh, that whole model. It's like, oh, if you want to have roadside assistance, it's going to cost you $3.99 a month. I don't want it. Well, I guess you hope you don't break down. Then again, I've got AAA, which is an annual subscription. So I guess in some ways, I'm already paying for that model. All right. Interesting conversation. And it still doesn't fit. So now the question is, why not? Okay. The last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have to start like moving on the sides here, I guess. Water line connection to your property, power line connection to your house. Now the connection part is your problem. I don't agree with that. Google, U.S. property taxes primarily fund local government services serving as large revenue for counties, cities, and school districts. Key services funded include public schools, police and fire departments, road construction, maintenance, libraries, parks, and sanitation. These taxes are generally based on the assessed value of real estate. Correct. That is the model. I agree. That's what we pay for. And by the way, I use my library all the time. Why? I'm paying for it. So what I think was a new Prius in the road the other day. It was really nice. Oh, the new Priuses? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I look at mine now. It's like, oh, mine looks ancient. And I'm not because it's an older model. It looks like an older concept. Yeah, the new ones look really nice, Ken. My hope, knock on wood, is I'll be getting a new car end of this year. Because I put on miles. I got mine in 2020, the summer of 2020. So this summer, I'll have had it 6 years. As of right now, 5.5 years into it, it's got 190,000 miles. I rack up miles on my car. Between commuting to work, commuting to client meetings. That's why I'm jealous of my daughter. She, her new job at the daycare center, she's, I don't know, 2-3 miles up the road. And a neighbor, her name is Mora. True story. Really? The breakdown of my taxes covers all that, but doesn't cover what the property portion is for. Then Nick, as a concerned citizen, you should be asking, what is this for? And it could be for things that have to be figured out at a later point. Sometimes that's exactly it. We're putting it into a coffer that needs to be justified as well. What's in there? How often does it get used? What does it get used for? Okay. Get some coffee in. Mora. That 80s splash teal fuchsia logo on the side of your car. Nope, not happening. Let's see, council's paycheck. Given what happened last year, my understanding is Texas lawmakers don't make a lot of money. They make their money on their access at some later point. All right, let's see if we can figure out why in the effing hell. I'm just going to break some of this off. Boy, I will say, epoxy. Who came up with this concept of epoxy? What a great, great product. Must be their undisclosed bonuses. Well, they have to disclose them. See, that's the thing. People get the system is built on if the system is built on deception, and that deception is then put out there as these people are fraudsters. Yeah, taxes are fraudsters. We should reduce taxes, but people are making money on the side saying that. That's bullshit. If you say so, Nick. I have no clue how American taxes work to that detail level. What specifically pays for what is beyond my knowledge and interest. It's actually I'm interested in it. I'd like to know these things. I'd like to know where does the money go? See, that's just this isn't and Nick, this is not an accusatory thing towards you, but this is a typical American response. We don't know, but we hear, I don't want to pay taxes. Yeah, I'm paying too much in taxes. I shouldn't pay more taxes. And we buy into that myth instead of asking, where is my tax money going? Knowledge. We should be seeking knowledge. And then at that point, if it's like this, this is bullshit. I mean, prime example, the state of Florida used how many millions of dollars? $45 million that was earmarked for medical use. Just all this stuff was used for an anti-abortion bill. It's not about a political conversation. That was misappropriated money taken out of other funds in order to be used for a specific cause that was illegal by the governor of Florida. Yo, Trump's done for. Well, I'll see it when I see it. Good morning, MSA. How are you? I think there's a need to be saying a local or federal government employee cannot profit off the department they work in. Oh, I agree. I totally agree. But we have to wait for phase 2. That would just be fine if they took the property portion and just moved it to city or school. Okay. Hey, that's fine too. Hey, here's the thing though. Now suddenly, if Nick, I see what you're saying, but if those bills went up significantly, you just don't like that it's labeled as a property tax. It sounds like it's more the label than anything else. Is that correct? Hey, is Tony here? Oh, there he is. Hey, Tony, good morning. All right, guys, I'm going to mute you for a second. I'm going to do a little bit of grinding here. There we go. Back on. May start boycotting the World Cup. May start? I think they have. Didn't Germany say they're boycotting? It's both. I would rather not pay it also. Yeah. But here's the thing, Nick. You can't do that. That is what living in a society is about, unfortunately. Sorry. That's like walking into a car dealership and saying, I want that car, but I'm not going to pay for it. You got to give it to me. No, that's not how it works. It's a transactional thing. Tony. I don't know. I'm staying away from the news and the politics for a while. My mental health needs. I totally get it. Yeah. No, this isn't actually news. This is just some philosophical differences, which is fine. I don't know, but they certainly sounded like they were like, I think the head of the German football league was like, yeah, I don't think we should be doing this. I think he's pushing for it. Dude, I get it. I mean, it's like, look, and guys, please understand, this is not a politics thing. I don't think anybody should be saying, I need to check your phone to see if what you're talking about. You don't have a right to do that. Would anybody here be okay with somebody handing their phone over and saying, yeah, you can check my stuff to see if I'm speaking correctly? And choose to live in a society, they forced me into it. Oh, did they now, Nick? Did they now? Did they now? It's the system. It got me. I need a break from local politics since my president just went buddy with your president and joined them. I saw that. I was like, I saw Indonesia was on there. I'm like, oh. I was like, okay, it is what it is. Yeah. I don't know. Here's the thing, guys. Like the fate, like, checking my my social media to see what I'm saying. You're like, I don't think if I want to share that with my friends, I think I have a right to do that, right? That was contingent on your handling of Greenland. It said, well, don't even kick a soccer ball. I know. Hey, Richie, what's going on, brother? And guys, I don't think let's be honest. I don't think it's a political conversation to say, you don't have a right to look at my phone and what social media stuff I'm looking at and doing and following and posting and determine whether or not I can move freely. I don't see that. Too early for politics. Amen, Richie. I'm just talking about, I think everybody here uses social media to some degree, right? About when? Because he was educated in your military school together with the King of Jordan. Ah, interesting. Richie, you strike me as the kind of guy who would tell somebody who, if can I take a look at your phone so I can see what you're watching? You'd probably look at them and just say, go fuck yourself. I could be wrong, but Richie, you kind of strike me as that kind of guy. All right, so what I'm doing right now, guys, if you guys remember, I got the sides here kind of done up. Now it's just a matter of, I think it's just removing material enough to get this thing to fit right. It's not fitting. And later today, I may go into the if I can bear going into the garage. I'm gonna see if I can find the box. There is I think you guys might remember this. So not only do I have 20, like, how many boxes left? 20, 21 boxes of models left. But there's also like at least a full box, smaller than the model box. It's probably about this big, of photo etch. What size shoes you got? That's right. What size shoes should I get you? Just blew all that shit in my face. That was lovely. All right. I must be grinding the wrong place altogether. I mean, I've got it compressed and it's in, but it's fitting slightly better, but not enough. Interesting. I'm gonna have to paper thin this so it gets a little bit more. Oh man, those were the days. I don't think we're good guys. Why you say that we have skulls on our hats? Yeah. Do-do-do. Tony, how's I'm ready for space colonies to be a thing. I think we've all been. My only fear is that, I hate to put it this way, but, given, again, looking at how we have not fully evolved as a species, I envision a world where things like what happened in Gundam could happen up there. Political factions fighting over whatever. But it would be nice to actually get to the point where we can start moving off this planet. It would be kind of cool. Tony, how are your parents doing? How's your dad? I volunteer as tribute. I would like to be a space pirate. I'm curious, can anyone see my posts? I can. Yes, but we're just ignoring you, Peter. Let me do this too. I wish it would actually start as live chat, but no, it says top chat. Here we go. This one definitely got missed. Foreigners have to be in over the last 5 years of their social media to be eligible for us just to visit the U.S. Yeah, it's kind of bullshit. I'm gonna go F yourself, guy. When it comes to my personal space and others demanding to, butt into it. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Don't tell me. Look, there are things that I have no problem in turning over information on. You want to take a look to see what my politics are? Go fuck yourself. If that's going to be something, it's my politics or whatever it is about me personally. If I don't want to tell you, I'm not going to tell you. Go fuck yourself. I volunteer tribute. I would like to be in space. Well, as long as Xeon don't drop it on Earth while I'm still alive, then it's all okay. Well, I don't know about that. We're just ignoring you, Peter. Joe, what was that show? I've seen that skit. It's hilarious. I'd sign up to be a space pirate. 1,000%. Mom is tired and dad is doing okay for the time being. I still need to go over there and get him ready to sit in his chair all day and watch his Westerns loud enough for the neighbors to hear it. Oh, wow. All right. So I got to ask, what kind of Westerns does he watch? I love Westerns. I'm not sure if I could watch Westerns all day, but I do love Westerns. And that's from Monty Python's Flying Circus. All right. it's compressing. The only thing I can think of is when this thing started to solidify. Let me just see what happens if I do this. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is when this thing started to solidify, that epoxy's hard to cure. It just kind of opened up a little bit. Now I can definitely do that and just go. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do that. All right, do a little bit of cleanup right at the top there, and this is kind of done. Oops, probably not that one. Hey, Joe. I'm going to be ignored, Nick, as long as I know, so I don't waste energy engaging in vain. He watches all of them. It doesn't matter. He puts the Western Channel on. Wow, I didn't even know there was a Western Channel. That is his watching unless wrestling is on or the news sometimes. Interesting. Gotta go for now. See you tomorrow. Edwin, have a good evening, my friend. Good having you on, as always. Had him watching the History Channel. He was in rehab, and he enjoyed it, but that seems to have gone right back to Westerns. Interesting. March 21st is our first build day at Japan Village. Ooh, nice. That's with the Brooklyn boys. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make that because I think I see where I might need to grind down. My wife is going to be getting ready to probably to start her her new job. And at this time, I'm not sure what that means in terms of getting her ready for that. Oh, what is Japan Village? Richie, tell more. Yesterday was a good day to just kind of kick back a lot. You know, it was really, I basically was just snapping up a model. I'm almost finished the Dragon R2. Probably get it done later today. We're also just kind of kicking back and, you know, watching a movie as a family. We watched, I haven't watched it in a bunch of years. Victor Victoria, 1982, Blake Edwards, Julie Andrews, James Garner, Robert Preston. God, that film is funny as hell. So there was a plane crash in Maine last night and it looked to be in Texas law firm and people who ran. Oh, no. Plane. Jesus Christ. Really? That's kind of scary. We are almost to where I will just say F it and be able to glue this together. And then after that, yeah. All right. I'm good with this for now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly try to get in and clean the inside of this thing, which I think I have. A little bit of sanding block here. They're off goofing. It's a great place. Morning. Is it safe today? Oh, well, I popped in yesterday morning at the wrong time. Didn't hang around. Sorry you feel that way, Mike. I was trying to be actually trying to give people sort of like how I felt about something, but it really impacted me. Anyway, good morning, Mike. Later, space always keep your stick on the ice. Joe, take it easy. Stay safe out there, brother. Well, serious. This is the reason I asked about my message was because they were disappearing from my own chat. If you could see them, how's your snow? My son reports about 14 inches. We got a lot. There's a drift, and I haven't been out there. I've looked out there briefly, but not much beyond that, as I thought they weren't sent. Later, Joe. All right. All right. Let's see if I can get in here very quickly. Do a little bit of cleanup on the inside. That's good. Most of this actually isn't too bad. I'm sure. Whoops. I'm sure. Just got to go into that area right there. Let's see if I can get in there. I don't want to go outside. I don't blame you, man. We got about 10. So far, it was a pain in the ass walking the dog, but she was having a blast. My calves, on the other hand, are screaming at me. Oh, yeah. Are you walking in unplowed area? Is that why, Tony? All right. I think I got just a little bit of something down that way. Hey, Ken, good morning. What's going on, brother? Another clean 3-4 inches today, about 4 inches have been falling. Yeah, not everyone shovels their sidewalks. Did have some very rough time in the high room, though. Hoping for more today. More morning, Ken. I have a house next to me that no one lives in 99% of the year. No one guy single hasn't shoveled, so it's like 2-3 houses that have interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be a little tough. Ken, I will be back in touch later today about our conversation. I apologize for not getting back. It's been a long weekend of just hanging out with family. But today promises to be a little quiet because I'm not going to the office. Okay. I think with that, I think that's a good enough approximation for what I need in the interior. We're done. Sounds good. No worries on the frequency. Yeah. I appreciate it, Ken. Appreciate the understanding. I got some lawsuits waiting to happen, Tony. Gonna go hit the snow. I'm home laying in bed. Good for you. Later, Mike. It's kind of the same down the street there. 5 or 6 or 7 shovel. 5 or 6. They don't shovel, and then hit like 3 to 4 bags. No shoveling, and then 2 houses stretch that. It just sucks. Yeah. Yeah. That's again, personal responsibility. I understand that it might be difficult for people, but boy, idiots at hell can have fun shoveling. That's right. Richie walks in tomorrow and it's all nice and clean for him. All right. I think we are now done with shaping the interior of that as much as possible. And it looks good enough for what I need. Now what I'm going to start doing is greebling the inside of that. Getting some wiring done off the tanks. Yeah, that should be kind of fun. Won't be accurate, but it'll work. I may move that one over a little bit. We'll see. Living the life, Richie. Yeah. A lot of older people that live in the neighborhood, so it is understandable. Yeah. Too bad that you can't find, like, for example, like somebody who could help out the community, maybe like somebody who does snow removal, plowing, whatever, and just like have the community chip in, a portion of it, just hit all of our houses, see if somebody would be able to help out. It's unfortunate. Ooh, what's that? Don't lose that. All right. My friends, with that, like I said, I've got enough of this done now that I'm good with being able to just glue it shut. And I'm going to start greebling the inside of it now. Well, not now. I'm going to take off now and start working on that, getting all that done, getting the interior painted, and then getting ready to close it all up. So a lot more effort's gone into this than I thought I would put in, but in the end, I'm happy with that. I also did find a pilot figure, which I believe is part of the Japanese pilot figures that I got. One of these is the ones that I made into Batman. Have a rest of the day. You too, Ken. Later, fellas. Later, Nick. Good rest of the day. The neighbors. It's there, close to my mom and dad. I grew up in the woods. Nice. That's very helpful. All right, guys. Stay safe and stay sane. Thanks for being on this morning. I appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to just re-emphasize what I said at the beginning. Go out there and do good. Treat people with kindness, respect, and love. That's all I ask. That's all I'm going to say. Do good. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.